Hey, it's Papa. Welcome back to Cooking for the Hungry. Today we're going to be doing crab and shrimp bake. My family really likes this. I like it too. I'm going to be working with imitation crab and some what they call large shrimp. Not large whenever I was younger, but the medium has turned into large. Anyway, I'm sitting here messing with the meats. I'm going to go through the ingredients with you, and then we're going to move over to the stove and we're going to make some pretty easy, straightforward dish. But it's important to make sure that your portions are right so that it turns out tasting right. The other thing today, I'm going to be using some pre-made Alfredo sauce. I do have my own recipe, I just haven't had time to make it. So I'm going to be using a good quality Alfredo sauce that's pre-made. So anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm breaking the imitation crab pieces apart because I can't afford a pound of shelled out crab. Most people on a tight budget can't. But I use the imitation crab and I use the shrimp. So I'll get back with you in just a second. And so let's talk about ingredients. I use a 2-pound package of frozen shrimp with tail on. They've been shelled and deveined, but I have to pinch the tails off. Of course, fresh is better, but can't afford that in the Midwest. So you pop the tails off and you cut them in 2 or 3 pieces depending on the size. Some of them are a little bigger, you might cut them in 3 pieces, and I'll show you in a minute. And most of them you're going to cut in half. So we'll take a guess what you'd call a large package of the imitation crab. Anywhere from 12 to 16 ounces will be fine. Let's see. We won't even talk about fresh crab, shelled by the pound. You're going to need 2 1/2 cups of some type of mixed shredded cheese. I always go by my old standby Colby Jack. Sometimes I'll mix it with some American. This would be good with some American mixed in with the white American. And 3/4 cup of cottage cheese. Some dried Parmesan cheese. I like the Parmesan Romano mix. And right now I'm using 1 jar of Alfredo sauce. But certainly homemade is better. 1 tablespoon, or actually I would say 2 large cloves of garlic, crushed or minced. I like to crush them. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but since I'm using the some Alfredo sauce out of the jar, I'm not going to add much salt. A little bit, but not much. And use about 1/2 bag, or I'd say 6 to 8 ounces of Amish egg noodles. And those really are the best to use for this dish. If you don't have them, use about 8 ounces of regular egg noodles. And that's about it for the ingredients. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here in just a second with the shrimp and the crab. I'm going to pinch the tails off the shrimp and have them ready to go. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Thank you. Alright. Here we are at the table. I want to show you a few things with the shrimp and the crab real quick. Shrimp frozen in a bag does not come the same size. So this is a smaller one and this is a larger one. I'll get you a little closer in here and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do. So come in here a little closer, okay? Okay, now the shrimp, the small one, that size, I'd probably just cut them in half. And the larger one, I'm going to cut in 3 pieces. That's what I was talking about a while ago. And my crab pieces, I buy the ones in hunks. So I cut some pieces, but cut about like that. The reason why I'm putting them in separate dishes is give you an idea what I'm doing here. But I want to cut up the crab, which is already cooked, somewhat cooked, and the shrimp, which is raw. I don't want them to handle in the same place, so I'll cut this up, clean this little spot off here, cut this up. I'll come back and I'll cut up the shrimp, and then we'll move over to the kitchen where we can start putting stuff together so we can get it baked. Alrighty, see you at the kitchen. At the stove. Okay, now we're at the stove. I have to get my favorite cooking utensil here. I am going to get ready to stir fry the shrimp a little bit, get it fairly well done. And the idea here is with a lot of these stuff that I'm putting in here is to get as much water out of them as you can. Makes the dish creamier and thicker, richer, so much better. I've got the egg noodles going on back here. They're getting ready to start boiling. So while I get those going, I'll get back with you in just a minute when I'm ready to start putting this stuff together. The other thing is I'm going to heat up is the Alfredo sauce. I'm going to heat that up in the microwave a little bit too. Not a lot, just a little more than one. Alright, okay, the focus here is going to be on my main mixing dish here. These are the shrimp. I just lightly cooked them in butter. I put a little dash of lemon in them and just caught them to where they were just barely cooked, turn orange, pinkish orange. Then take them out and I drain them. Again, when I make this dish, I want to make sure that I drain as much water out as possible of things. And since the sauce, I've got the sauce warmed up already, I'm going to put the garlic in with the sauce because that's what will get around everything real good and get mixed in with everything. The egg noodles are done. And the oven is preheating. Now this is a dish that I cook open. I do not enclose it at any point. I keep it open. So mix that around a little bit. Good there. Now, like I said, the noodles were well strained. I made sure there wasn't any water hardly on them. They didn't drip no more water. And then with the shrimp, then I'm going to go ahead and put the crab meat in, or the imitation crab meat. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the cottage cheese in. Cottage cheese. I'll throw a half cup of, half cup of cheese in there. And a little bit of salt, not much. Alright. Oop. Go. Take the Romano. Take that Parmesan Alfredo sauce in here. Now what you can do, if this ends up being too dry, you can add a little bit of concentrated milk. I think this is going to be fine. Toss it around a little bit. Alright. That's pretty good. Mix it real good there. If I don't make a mess, it probably ain't any good. Okay. Now, I'll pull this over here. Get this in right there. This is the dish I'm going to be baking it in. I don't use a 9x13. I like to use a deeper dish. So, you make it whichever way you want to. Make it a little deeper. Seems to taste better to me that way. Kind of level it out there a little bit. Different kinds of other cheese. Here's another half cup of this. You can go half cup to 3/4 cup. Ain't no big deal. Okay. Then I'm going to put some healthy helpings of the Parmesan Romano. You can just put Parmesan if you don't like Romano. Put this Parmesan Romano all over the top of it. And you put it in the oven. Anywhere from 325 to 335 is fine. If your cakes don't seem like they're getting cooked at the right amount of time, your oven temperature may not be right, so you may want to bump it up 10 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the old oven here. And we're going to cook it for 45 to 50 minutes. I'll set it on 45. And then in the meantime, I'm going to be making some baby carrots. And I'll show you what it looks like whenever it comes out. And a picture of what it looks like on the plate. We're going to have baby carrots with it today. Thanks a lot. Tune in next time and enjoy some more cooking. Thanks for tuning in.